First thing I did to create my double page spread was open InDesign. InDesign was the software that was fundamental in creating my double page spread. I clicked create a new document, change the page size to A3, change the orientation to landscape, and then set a 10mm bleed and a 10mm slug. Next step was to set display performance to high quality so that throughout the creation process I was able to view my work in the highest quality format. The next step I took in the creation process was creating the layout for the double page spread itself. Firstly, I clicked the rectangle tool and drew out a rectangle. I then filled it with the colour black. I then copied and pasted the same size rectangle to construct the rest of the layout. I placed the first copy vertically. The next rectangle I placed horizontally. And I then placed the next two accordingly so that it created a frame effect. The next step was to input headers and article titles. Firstly, I selected the text tool. I then drew a text box to input the text. I wrote the relevant text and then changed the font and size of the text. I positioned the text where I wished it to be. I then decided that the text was slightly too big, so I decreased it in size slightly. Next was the placing of the subtitle. Identical to the previous step, I input the relevant text, changed the size of the text, and then placed it accordingly. I decided that as a subtitle it was rather big and didn't wish to take the attention from the article title, so I decreased it slightly. The placement and sizing of the name of the feature artist was the same as the other previous steps. I then highlighted the feature artist's last name and changed its colour. I drew a rectangle frame tool to place the main image of the feature artist. I clicked on the relevant picture folder, I then selected the correct image and dragged it into the frame. I then zoomed out slightly to resize the image. To resize the image, I held down Shift to ensure it didn't pixelate and stretch. I then previewed my work so far in presentation mode to view it without all the lines of the boxes, etc. The pull quote here, used to entice the reader, was placed and created the same as previous text. I followed the same steps to insert the rest of my text into my double page spread. I was aware how to insert columns at the start of creating the actual document. However, due to my layout, it proved better for me to just use text boxes. The page Page numbers and website was also created. The page numbers and website text was also created the same as all of the other text in the article. However, I added a border to the page numbers to make them further stand out. Here is my finished double page spread.